Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you're seeing this video. I am NurseEdora, and today I want to talk about something very important, which is our mental health. Okay, the reason I want to talk about this is because a lot of the times people tend to ignore this, and every day we are being met with one level of mental disorder or the other, and these are things that happen within us, and a lot of the time we don't know that these are mental disorders. So that's why I want to talk about it. And considering what is actually going on right now in the country, I actually want to talk about this because we have a responsibility. They have a responsibility as parents, as healthcare providers, as pastors, everyone everywhere. Is it bosses in organizations, everywhere, parents to their children, and so on and so forth, neighbors, tenants, everybody, we have a responsibility. So please, before you continue watching this video, and after watching it, please ensure you share and follow me as we are going to talk about this, because I'm going to really talk about a lot. I'm not going to just make it look so snappy. So for that reason, these videos are gonna come in different parts. We'll have part 1, part 2, until we talk about the major things. Okay, so now the main focus now is mental disorders among adolescents, or mental illnesses that the adolescents tend to experience. Okay, now adolescents are young adults. These are people that are living childhood to adulthood. In between childhood and adulthood is the adolescents. Okay, now what makes them so unique and distinctive? During childhood we have, yeah, this is a boy, this is a girl. But during the adolescent period, you see that there are certain developments, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Everywhere you see that there are certain development that tends to start taking place, certain changes, and these changes is actually helping to prepare these individuals into the next phase of life, which is the adulthood. So during this period, there are some mental illnesses that they tend to face. I'm not saying that adults don't have theirs. Yeah, adults have their own level of, or their experiences with different mental illnesses, even children too, but I'm talking basically about adolescents. Now, the mental illnesses that adolescents tend to experience, these ranges from we have different types, and we have anxiety disorder, we have mood disorder, we have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, we have behavioral disorder, we have depression, and we have the last for this, which is not actually the least, we have suicide. Okay, now you see with me that the people that tends to commit suicide more are adolescents. Now, if you've been able to scale through or pass through this level and you're now an adult, it's very difficult for you to actually considering having suicide and so on. So that's why I really want to talk about this. Please follow up on this video, share it to as many persons as you can, so that people can see, and so that we can make this world a better place. Now let's go to the first I mentioned. I talked about anxiety. What is anxiety? Okay, what is anxiety? So anxiety is a feeling of worry, is a feeling of nervousness, is a feeling of uneasiness about something which has uncertain outcome. Now, when you're worried about something, you don't know how this thing is going to turn out to be. You're not so sure of what you want to do. You're not like, okay, let me bring a practical example. Like I'm an adolescent, and I just grew into adulthood. I started developing my my organs that is preparing me into adulthood, and I'm actually from an average home. I'm trying to think of how my life is going to be tomorrow, because at this point maybe a little bit of my parents' attention have been diverted from me, and I'm beginning to wonder, how am I going to do? How is my future going to be like? I'm going into the university. How am I going to skate through the university? What is going to happen to me? What do I tell my parents? How do I make my parents know that this choice they are trying to make for me is not my choice? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do that? How is this going to be? This place I want to go, how do I know this is not the wrong place? This friend I'm making, how a lot of feeling of worry. You're just worried about something, or maybe you're actually trying to do something and then you're just like, God, I don't know if this thing is actually going to work. Or I'm actually a Christian, so a lot of times during my conversations I'm going to be talking more of God. But then for every other religion, I respect your religion, and also you can also relate depending on your religion. All right, so now it will be like, God, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? And so on and so forth. You start having those feelings and start thinking that way. Now, for anxiety, we have different types of anxiety disorders. Okay, we have the general anxiety disorder, we have the social disorder, we have panic, we have so many of them. But I'm not actually going into that. I'm actually going to speaking just basically on the one that's the general one. When you start having this feeling of worry, it's normal in some areas, it's normal in some cases, but when it becomes too much, that's when it gets wrong. That's when it tends to start affecting our mind. And when it affects our mind, it affects other part of us. It affects our activities with people. It affects our response to people. It affects our response to things around us. And then it tends to be a problem. Okay, so now at the end of this video, I'm going to tell generally how to manage this mental disorders. I'll address the adult and so on. So I'm going to just talk basically on anxiety now. Now, what do you do when you start getting anxious, when you start getting worried? First, I want you to understand something, that you getting worried over something cannot change the thing. The only thing that can change a thing is the action you put in to change that thing. Now, assuming you want to go into the university as a young child, or you have talent, or you're coming from a not well-to-do home, and you're just thinking of how is my future going to be? My mom could not really make ends meet for us. My dad is actually struggling and all of that. Now, you should understand that if you keep on worrying, keep on being so anxious, it's not going to help anything. Anxiety does not help solve a problem. Instead, it increases the problem because it tends to affect your mind. So, moving on from that, like I said, I'm going to give a general preventive measures, or a general mental care counseling. So, moving on from that, we'll go to the next, which is mood disorder. Please, as you finish watching this video, please watch out for the next one, because in the next one I'm going to be talking about mood disorder. I'm going to be talking about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and so on and so forth. So please watch out for the part 2 of this video, and also share, like, and follow my page if you're not following my page already. God bless you. Thank you so much.